Eagles fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on them. Drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby. Let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight. Welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk Upon Further Review, where we go over the Eagles' last game, which was the season opener against the Green Bay Packers last Friday night. Excuse me, seems like a long time ago, but our Philadelphia Eagles came out of that game, that contest, victorious. So we are 1-0 over in Brazil. Sloppy field and all. And in some cases, even sloppy play. But we are 1-0, and that is all that matters to me. So we will be recapping this game, and in the second half, we'll be previewing the Monday night contest versus the Atlanta Falcons. Can't wait for that. So, but without further ado, let me bring in my co-host, and that's Pat. Pat, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. A victory is a victory, but there's a lot to break down with this game. A lot of quarterback play that needs to be picked up. We got a lot to talk about today.
You talk about that, but I'm gonna be happy because we got to win.
You be happy.
That's all. That's all I'm worried about. I'm not that you break down the X and O's. I'm gonna tell you all the good things that I saw. That's what I'm gonna focus on today. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna be the optimistic. Good cop, bad cop. I'm going to be the good cop today. All right, so let's get this show on the road because I do want to get to the preview of the Atlanta Falcons in the second half. So without further ado, you guys are listening to, watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that is by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our undefeated Philadelphia Eagles, and we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat, what are you doing tonight?
Same old thing.
Making you all grumpy. You need to, if that's making you all grumpy. All right, you doing the Woodford Reserve? Maybe you need to stop. You need to go back to the Dar Jameson. All right, so he's doing the Woodford Reserve, and I'm doing my apple juice. You guys out there, let me know what victorious beverage you are partaking in tonight, and let's toast to our Philadelphia Eagles, 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the Quarter.
Look, that game was it was to me, it was impressive. Yes, I'm gonna say impressive because with the few hiccups that we had, we still put up 34 points and beat a pretty good Green Bay Packers team, a team that is a playoff contender. Some even picked to be in the NFC Championship game, and we beat them. And there were no slouches here. It was a shootout. Yes, it was a shootout. We won by 5, but that's okay. We were playing a quality team. We weren't playing the Carolina Panthers. We weren't doing that. So I expected that it would be a contest, a battle, and it was just that. And we came out on top. I am very encouraged in some of the things. I'm definitely very, very encouraged and happy and grateful and thanking my higher power that we have Saquon Barkley on the team now, because he had a wonderful, excellent debut game for the Philadelphia Eagles, reminiscent of a 1-TO back in 2004 when in his debut, he also scored 3 touchdowns, which Saquon did on Friday. 2 rushing and 1 receiving. And what a reception that receiving touchdown was. I didn't know that he had that. I mean, I always heard he can catch out of the backfield, but the hands that he displayed on that catch right there really showed me the skill set, his pass catching skill set, and I was very, very impressed with that. Pat, so I'm happy with the offense. I'll touch a little bit. Let me say some more about the offense. I'll just say
I'm not that happy about the offense, man.
Offense put up 34 points.
Yeah, that's good. We could have put up at least 45 to 55 points. You know, when your quarterback is putting you in positions and throwing the ball, turning the ball over 3 times in the first half, in the first quarter, you put yourself in a situation where you're going to find out that you're going to be in a shootout. This game should not have been in a shootout. Right now, Pro Football Focus has Jalen Hurts as one of the worst quarterbacks and gave him an overall player grade of 29.8. 29.8. This guy leads the league in turnovers. It's only week 1.
I don't care. I'm not focusing on that because that's going to get better. I just believe that is going to be better. It was his first game. We talk about how they don't really work these guys in the preseason as far as the first teamers go. They don't get any preseason game snaps. So, we heard rave reviews about Jalen Hurts in practice. And I'm encouraged, don't get me wrong, only one interception throughout the whole training camp. And I know he came out and threw 2 interceptions and possibly more, but he did not. And I'm not discouraged because that was his first game. And we talk about how not playing in the preseason essentially makes these first couple of weeks like their preseason. They're getting up to game speed. This is that was the first time they played near game speed since last year. You can't replicate game speed in practice. You can't replicate game speed even in the joint practices. So this was their first time, the first team offense, first time on the field playing at game speed. And yes, he was a little rusty.
Dark yes. Knight, don't give him an excuse. Listen, they've been playing football, all right? They've been practicing, and Jalen Hurts has been in the NFL for 4 years. He should know that you don't throw in double coverage. He should know if you're laid across the middle, it's going to get picked off. The one mishap, all right, I can give that to him, the botched snap. But he almost threw 2 other interceptions. Stop playing hero ball, play within the scheme of the game of the offense, and let your playmakers make plays. We've been stressing this for how long, Dark Knight? How long have we been stressing this that you let your playmakers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, now Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, you let these guys make the plays. Stop playing hero football, and you'll understand something that this offense can be much improved. Was I happy about a lot of other things that ran this offense? The motion, I was excited about that. But Jalen Hurts, in order for this team to take off and be what we predict them to be, must and has to be better. He can't make those mistakes. Just can't.
And he won't. He will not make those mistakes. He will not continue to make those mistakes. I have the utmost confidence that, just knocking off the rust, still getting used to. And in his defense, he was trying to get it to the playmakers. That's where the interceptions came. He was trying to get it to the playmakers. Over the middle
of the field, when you're backing your goal line, you throw late over the middle of the field, you got a double covered. The receiver's double covered. Like, what are you doing? That's literally.
It was
ball.
AJ though. You could throw it to AJ double covered. Devontae. But either one of them. You could throw it to them double covered. Maybe not triple covered. No, I'm only kidding. No, he did. He did make some. He made some bad choices, but let's remember that this is his first time in this offense. He's trying to develop a habit or break a habit from last year of making poor decisions and a new offense that he's running and all that. So I'm going to give him a pass for week 1, man. I'm going to give him a pass because there's a lot of teams.
A pass.
A lot of teams out there, and you could tell by the scoring that went on. This was one of the lowest scoring opening season weekends in football in recent history. So he's not alone. Not to say that I'm making that an excuse, but he's not alone. A lot of people came out on set this week and they didn't look the same, and that's okay. It's the first game of the week, and I'll take a W. The alternative could have been we could be 0-1. There's a lot of good things. 34 points is nothing to sneeze at. Mm-hmm. It's nothing to sneeze at. And you think about last year, had we had 2 turnovers, we wouldn't even be in the game. So I'm going to be happy about the fact that we had 2 turnovers. early in the game, and our defense kept us in the game. So overall, I'm happy about the win, and I'm going to give. I don't expect Jalen to continue to play like that as the season goes on, and we'll see. And he'll prove me right in this Monday night game coming up. But welcome to the show, our third co-host, and that is the Queen of Eagles Talk, Nichelle. Nichelle, I'm glad you're here because you can take up the mantle now. I'm starting to get dry throat here, but your man is coming at nephew. Your man coming at nephew. I'm down now. I'm a sick Nichelle on you now.
It's not my nephew.
Get it. He's coming at nephew.
We expect better. Right, we expect better, and in that first half, he did not look like the quarterback that changed over the offseason. That Elliott Short Parks was talking about not throwing interception, hitting the check down man instead of trying to force the ball deep. Right, he didn't look like that quarterback at all, and he was still scrambling out of the pocket when a pocket was built for him. Got to stay in there. He got to stay in there.
Hey, Pat. We talk about practice.
We're talking about the game now.
No, but you talk about practice. He didn't look how he looked in practice when it wasn't a live game. And nobody's letting Jalen off the hook on having to play better. But can we just talk about his bounce back game? Because at the end of the day, if you could overcome your penalties, your turnovers, and still put the game on your back and get it done and help put up 34 points, that's really what you want out of your quarterback. You need somebody that's resilient because everything is not going to go his way. It really isn't. And he has to make better decisions. He needs more coaching when it comes to his pocket presence and how to look off the defense more. And Jaws talked about this a lot. So I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But this notion and this hypercriticism of Jalen Hurts, when you look at all the quarterbacks around the league, we seem a little spoiled. Because he is still a top 5 quarterback in this league. Let's be clear.
I don't know. I think Josh Allen's better than him.
Well, you know what? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response at this point.
Where's my sounder? I don't know what sounder is. Where is it at? I'm sorry.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. I'm going to stand for my QB because he's the QB we got. So, we could critique him all day, but trashing him like he can't get any better. He has a work ethic we have not seen in a long time out of a quarterback in an Eagles uniform. Real talk.
Well,
he has a heavy work ethic, and he has to always fight through adversity, whether it's getting a new offensive coordinator. All of these things come into play. We can't just base everything off of every single time he makes a mistake and not look at his entire body of work. And that's what burns me. It's like you have to look at this young man's entire body of work, his entire work ethic, before you come with the critique. We have every right to critique. He has some better decision making he has to make. But at the same time, we know that there's a whole new sheriff in town in Kellen Moore. So there's a lot more things that they have to all get in sync on both sides of the ball, not just offense, but defense too. There's some things that have to get in sync with the O-line before we're clicking on all cylinders. But to be able to come back from that deficit, have our defense hold us down, and then you command that field like he did to make some amazing throws in that game, we can't just negate that because we wasn't happy with the first half. To Dante's point, 34 points is nothing to sneeze at after you had 2 turnovers.
All right, Dark Knight, I can't be the bad cop no more.
Like, what y'all talking? What we talking about? He has a ceiling. I saw somebody says he has a ceiling. If I hear another WIP talking point, he has a ceiling. There is no ceiling.
Well,
there is no ceiling.
One thing I do have to say about Jalen Hurts, right? And this is something that he needs to stop doing, is when he gets the snap to always look at the rush. In San Fran, that's just said, you know what? That's what he does, right? It said he looks at the rush instead of look at the development of the offense. And when he does that, he end up taking off. He did that this past Friday a lot of times. It was a few times when he actually let everything develop. That touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley was a thing of beauty, right? If you look at that whole play, it was a double post wheel route. So it was a post by your top receiver with Devontae Smith at that particular time, and it was a wheel route by Saquon behind it from the backfield. It was built up perfectly for them, and he put a nice ball on it.
And he has a lot more movement this year.
Yes,
we have a lot more movement that he has to get used to this year.
But that's what you call letting the play develop instead of taking off. Let the offensive line, which actually created a pocket for him multiple times, and he took off to the right. He needs to trust his offensive line because they will block for you. But if you keep scrambling to your right, you hear me not saying left, right? You keep scrambling to your right, you're making your offensive line, you're making your plays, and you're diminishing what the offensive coordinator is trying to do against all these different defenses.
Yeah, and we can't discount the fact that Kelsey's not at center. So that comfortability that he probably had.
Cam Jurgens played pretty daggone good.
He played pretty good, but we need to highlight some of Cam's mistakes too in the snap count. Come on, let's not pretend that didn't happen.
Well,
Cam just gets off
Kelsey
the hook.
Did the same thing.
I know, but I didn't let Kelsey off the hook. The O-line always gets off the hook for the great protection, but we never talk about when the O-line makes mistakes. We only talk about when Jalen makes mistakes. We've done that for 3 seasons now. And sometimes the O-line has let their duties down, but nobody ever wants to call the O-line out. It's like they can do no wrong even when they are wrong. So we need to think about that. How are you going to be comfortable without your Kelsey immediately? It's going to take a couple weeks before he fully has 100% faith in Cam Jurgens, because Kelsey was a force to be reckoned with. Real talk.
And let me just point out the fact that, him scrambling or looking at the blitz is habitual, right? This is something that he was doing last year a lot. So the break habits is not an overnight thing. He probably did better in training camp, and that's why we had those glowing reviews coming out of training camp. And then when the lights came on, habitually he went back to scrambling to the right, but I think that he's going to settle down, and this is going to become his new habit of the check downs and such. Just give him time. Like I said before, this is their first game under the bright lights. Practice does not count. None of that counts. This is where it counts. And don't believe me, when he gets comfortable, not to mention, not making excuses, but not to mention, to Nichelle's point, this is the third offensive play caller he's had in 3 years. He's had 3 different play callers in the past 3 years. So let's have a little grace with our quarterback, who is still, to me, a top-notch, top-ranked quarterback in the league. And just like Chris Carter, they used to say about Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns. All Jalen does is win. All he does is win. Look at his record. Period. That's all he does. Period. So I'm going to take the win and the mistakes, and I have the utmost confidence that is going to improve as the season goes on. I love the play calling. I love the play design and all from Kellen Moore. And as he gets more comfortable, and Jalen gets more comfortable, and everybody gets more comfortable, it's going to be a journey of improvement throughout the year. So, again, I'm happy with being 1-0. We can talk about the defense. I thought they was much improved. There was mistakes on that side of the ball, too. But I tell you one thing. If this was last year's defense, we don't win that game. I'll tell you that. We do not win that game with last year's defense. 2 turnovers in the first quarter. We're down 14-0 immediately. So I'm optimistic about that also, not being down. The defense held their own, only gave up 2 field goals. That was great. Seeing the young boy, Quinion Mitchell, shut down. I mean, he had a couple passes caught in front of him, but in the big pass attempts against him, the quarterback rating against Quinion Mitchell was like 53. He did his job. The run defense probably needs to shore up a little bit more. But, hey, that field out there was horrible.
Terrible.
It was horrible. Terrible.
Yeah, so they were playing on a soccer field, and soccer field, like JJ Watt said, it's not made for these big monsters that can cut and move, like who has the size and ability as a Saquon Barkley. It's more or less made for people the size of Jake Elliott or Britton Covey, not somebody that's 6 foot 230 that runs a 4.4. So I get that, and you can see with the tape. You can go look at the defensive players, and especially affected Bryce Huff, who can get traction to save his life. And with only ended the game one tackle, they didn't even look like he was playing because Brandon Graham had more playing time and it was more active than he was. So I get that. And I understand that. I understand the point of we got to put some blame on the offensive line when it comes to these mistakes of Jalen Hurts. And, he's going to do his third offensive coordinator in 4 years. I get all that. And I understand that. And don't think I'll take that by any – let that fly by any wish of the imagination. But as a professional athlete, you have a job to do. And your job is to get better each week. I'm happy. I'm grateful for us starting the season 1-0. But from that game, when you go back and look up the film, there are so many missed opportunities, missed tackles, not being in the right place at the right time. Yes, we can treat this as preseason. We can say this is our official preseason game. What are we going to do against the Falcons?
Oh, we'll get to the Falcons, but let me bring in our fourth co-host. It's been long enough before I bring you guys in the chat room. Thank you for joining us tonight on Eagles Talk. And the first person in the chat tonight is Daz Dante. Love that name. I don't know why, but I love it for some reason. He's watching from Facebook, and he says, hey, fam, Eagles fam. Second person in the room is also watching from Facebook, Tremont, and he says, what's up, Eagles family? The third person in the room is Jeremiah Andrews, and he says, what's up, fam? 1-0. 1-0 indeed. Richard Layton is in the house. He says, what's up, Eagles fan? What's up, Richard? What's up? So JT's here, too. He was on time. He says, let's go, Birds. Yes, let's go. How do you guys feel out there about the first win of the season in that first game? Jeremiah is out there. He says, Dante and Pat hit the breaking news. Richard is not drinking the Tito's tonight. What? Oh, my goodness. That is breaking news.
Rain vodka.
Rain, vodka, and ultra light. Richard Layton. Oh, was this the week I was supposed to quiz everybody on what Richard drinks? And that would have been wrong. I'm glad I forgot because I was supposed to quiz you guys, and only the regulars would have known what he normally drinks. And here he throws me a curveball. Oh, my goodness, Richard. Why did you do that to me? All right, so look, it was a good game, man. I watched that game. I probably watched it 5 times before Sunday's game even came on. I just kept watching it, because NFL Network replays it a lot until something comes on. And then I was so happy to have Eagles football back. I watched it multiple times, and I was happy with what I saw from the defense. I just was. Zach Bond was a beast. He was all over the place. I was even happy with N'Kobe. They're flying all over the place, and I give them grace because of the field. Just as we played in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, we have a fast-track defensive line, meaning they need to be on solid footing, good field, because they use their speed. And we did not have that. It was a lot of slipping, and when you're 350 pounds, you need to dig in to get that leverage up front. So that field is a big part of why we weren't more effective in the pass rush and maybe even the run defense. Although I looked at Vic Fangio's press conference and he said that some of that was his play calling. He had him in the wrong play call in certain run situations. So he took some blame from that. I give him credit for that. But overall, I can't wait to see this team on Monday night at the Linc on a fast turf and see how this defense holds up then, because I'm already impressed. I'm already impressed by what I saw this Friday, because as I said before, had this been last year's defense, it would have been game over. Game over. Two turnovers in the first quarter. Our defense couldn't stop anything last year. Last year, they couldn't stop anything. So I see the improvement. And I can't wait to see them at home, having slept in their own beds, having had their home cooking, and come out and let's smack the Atlanta Falcons. But, excuse me, let me go to this comment right here. Dion says, damn that, Pat. I'm not looking at a win over the Packers in South America on a shitty field. This is not a preseason game. Solid damn win any way you slice it. That's right. Get with him. Pat is coming out, and he's just critiquing. I think he's being a little too hard on the evaluation.
Man, listen, we got so much. We invested so much to this team. And looking at this team, I see they have the ability. They have the players. They have everything in front of them. They have the intangibles. They just need the quarterback to ensure that all he does is be the point guard, be the Magic Johnson of the Lake Show, be the Ryan Harper of the Chicago Bulls, be the Kobe Bryant to the Shaq. Listen, man, that's really all we need you to do. Playing this hero ball was 3 RPOs instead of handing to the running back, who was just Saquon Barkley. He took the ball himself. And what happened is what we thought would happen. The teams are keen on that. RPO don't work like it used to. And it's not going to work for Jalen for the simple fact that you say what? The linebacker is going to come after the quarterback regardless. Give it to the running back. Take less hits. And so we're not worrying about you getting injured. That's all I want him to do. Play the game smarter. Play the game from the standpoint of using your brain instead of trying to use your legs and be that hero of the game. You got heroes out there. Let's give them the ball. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. Quavo, let me give you a shout out. He said he was first on Instagram, and I'm looking at it. He was first on Instagram to post. You weren't the first to join, though, because on Instagram, I can see who actually comes into the room. But you were the first to post, so let me give you credit. I am, and I agree with you, Pat. I do. I really do agree with you on that. Jalen doesn't have to play a lot of hero ball, but hey, look, he played hero ball in that game. Don't think he didn't. When that last drive, when we needed that field goal and we held the ball for 6 minutes, that was Jalen. That was Jalen hitting Devontae 2 times. That was Jalen getting the first.
Making sure he caught those passes and
yeah, but that was Jalen getting the ball to him. That was Jalen running for that yardage on that drive.
Carrying
that was
2 people on his back.
Yes.
You know what? I got a gripe. I got a gripe with the NFL Network right now. All right. Because I'm off being a bad cop, all right? Now I got to talk about the accolades that he did have in this game. Michelle, you said he carried 2 guys on his back. Do you know how many yards he carried these guys?
No, do tell. I just know I was
7 yards for first down. 4.7 yards.
Wow, them 600-pound squats is working.
Peter, the guy off of NFL Network that does the angry runs, they didn't put him up there. That was an angry run.
It was a total angry run.
That was an angry run.
Yeah, that was a total angry one. And he showed his strength in that one drive.
Those are like Dark Knight said. Those are the times we need you to be a hero, play hero ball.
Yes, sir.
But when you're in a situation where you have a dynamic running back and you're doing RPO, I think they need to take the run off. Just do PO, pass op, or run pass as option. All right. If you don't give it to Barkley, you're passing to AJ or Devontae. You're not running it.
No, don't forget about Dallas Goedert now. Come on now. He could.
Dallas let us down, man. Dallas let us down.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like we have a squad full of weapons. So I mean, we so focus on Jalen, but are we going to focus on other things that the weapons must do for Jalen to get the ball to them?
Are we going to talk about the offensive line again?
No. I mean, our receivers, our tight ends. You said Dallas let us down. Let's hear it.
Well,
let's hear it in the second quarter. Let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles, the 1-0 Philadelphia Eagles, the 5th-ranked Philadelphia Eagles. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat is tripping today, so he's doing the Woodford Reserve Bourbon, that's what got him all cranky and all that stuff. And Michelle, what are you doing? If you are doing
I just got a
anything?
little spike lemonade. I can't be going too heavy. It has some of the wild feather bourbon in it that I had last week.
Wow, feather.
Okay, so she got the spiked lemonade with the wild feather bourbon, and I have the strong and potent apple juice. So here we go, everybody, down the hatch for our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the Fatness Quarter.
Damn right.
I don't want to see Jalen do a lot of running this year myself. I don't think that it's necessary, actually, because I think that with the play designs that you saw with Kellen Moore, I don't think that it's needed as much as it was before. I think that we have a play designer here and a real play caller now that, as I said last week, all Jalen needs to do is be the point guard here and just distribute the ball, get the ball into those guys' hands and let them do the heavy lifting. Now, I'm not going to ever be mad at him for doing what he did in the fourth quarter on that last drive because that was him. And it's hard to get out of being a hero when you're a hero. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to tell Superman not to be Superman and he's the strongest man on earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're telling this hero here, don't go out there and use your superpowers. It's hard not to go use your superpowers when you've been blessed with superpowers. Now, this superpower is to win, and he put it on display in that last drive, and I'm okay with that. Maybe he needs to be more, a little wiser in how far he can go. But he that was an impressive final drive, 7 minutes off the clock. I'm okay with Jalen. I don't care what he did before that. That brought the victory home to me, and I'm okay with it.
So you talk about Superman. I mean, you talk about Jalen Hurts being Superman. Sometimes you got to go out there and be Superman. It's hard to tell Superman not to be Superman when he's a strong person. Listen. There's always a doomsday. There's always a dark side. There's always
kryptonite.
A world war hawk. There's always kryptonite for a Superman. So regardless of how much of a hero you are and how many things you have done, there are always things that could take you down. And by him being
like Pat.
Playing hero ball. Yes. By him playing hero ball all the doggone time, you know what takes him down? It's getting hurt. Putting yourself in vulnerable positions where as though you're taking on all these unnecessary hits when we need you in crucial positions like in the fourth quarter to get us that 7-minute drive, right? Kenny, two hands, small hands wouldn't have done that, right? Tanner McKee wouldn't have done that. So we need him to stay upright and distribute the ball the way the offense is dictating it for. Kellen Moore has put together a beautiful game plan. You should see some of his motions and what that window dressing is doing to these defensive players. That one play when he threw a slant to Devontae Smith on our fourth down pass to get the fourth down. Listen, that motion caused so much confusion because they saw Saquon Barkley coming back on a motion and coming into a zone area and left the wide open Devontae Smith. That window dressing is what we need, and we need a quarterback to stay focused. I'm doing the political thing now. Stay focused and just drive the football, right? Just drive the football. Be a commander of the team and let the missiles go.
All right, so Pat,
I need a hug.
You need a hug.
Where is Stephanie at?
She went to go. She went out.
He needs somebody for this anger, and today he has chosen Jalen for some reason.
Well, I was about to talk about the defense too. I was about to get on that.
All right, let's talk about the
defense. But you didn't know.
I did.
You spent all this time talking about Jalen.
All right,
You
let me
sound
go
like
to some
I'm trying to
comments.
figure out, like, are you auditioning for WIP right now?
Tell me why you mad, son.
Tell him why you mad, son. All right, Tony Burns said we had motion. Yes, we did have motion.
Yes, we did.
Joe Dell said it's a damn RPO. Just fake it and throw it behind whoever comes up. When did it become so complicated? Yeah, I don't know. Tony Burren earlier said they had some rust throughout that game, but that 7-minute drive at the end showed they got their shit together when they needed to. With that, Dion says that final drive was impressive. Basically, that's it. That final drive was impressive. Dion also comes at Pat when he says AP in the house. Angry Pat is what they call him. Can we get off? Jeremiah says, can we get off Jalen and talk about those holes the defense was letting them run through and how they were missing tackles? All right, so yeah, that'll be a great segue into the defense. Overall, I think the defense showed improvement from last year. Was there areas where they needed improvement? Yes. The pass rush was not, especially from the edges. The pass rush was non-existent almost to me, and that was kind of disappointing. Mm-hmm. But Vic dialed up pressure from somewhere, and that's what I liked about Vic on Friday is that he couldn't get the pass rush from the edge rushes, so he dialed it up from the linebackers. And I don't care where the pass rush comes from. I don't care where the heat gets turned up, as long as it gets turned up. But that is something that I'm concerned about moving forward. We paid Bryce Huff a lot of money to come in here and get that pressure. And I think he's going to show it, especially on a more conditioned field. I think we'll see that from him. But Friday was not the day that it was shown. It was not shown on Friday. So that does concern me some. The run holes, yeah, that was concerning too. Mm-hmm. And every time that happens, what's the first name you think of?
What? Frank, the defensive coordinator for the Browns.
No. When we give up a lot of rushing yards, who's the first person that you find accountable, and whether it's fair or not?
Oh, believe it or not, it's Jordan Davis. It's Jordan Davis.
I'm like, where the hell?
Because he's your run stopper. You're pretty much was drafted high to be the replacement for Fletcher Cox. If Fletcher Cox is in that game, they don't run the game as prolific as they did. They had over 160-yard rush yards, and at one point you couldn't stop the run game. You weren't stopping the run game. So how much Zach Bond did as our linebacker, he still was chasing these running backs because our front four wasn't doing it.
Yeah, he had to play cleanup. So that's why I hope we get 30 minutes of what was our front four doing.
Our front four was just playing patty cake, bakers, man. But you know what? I do got to give some credit to Jalen Carter because Jalen Carter was held majority of the night. So now he understands what it is to be the number one defensive tackle on the team. Because the number one defensive tackle on the team gets held, gets double teamed, and you make those plays. You don't do bowhead in situations and cause personal fouls. But while he's getting double teamed, I need Jordan Davis to make a play. I need Sweat to come alive. I need Bryce Huff to get off his New York Jets train and start playing Philadelphia Eagle football and make a doggone tackle. Brandon Graham is almost the same age as we are. He should not be on that field. How many plays he played this week?
I agree. And Vic he makes no bones about it. He's going to play those who are producing. Somebody asked about Devin White. Pat, did Devin White get beat by N'Kobe? Yes, Vic. He just told you straight out. Yeah, he's the starter. He beat him out. N'Kobe beat out White, and he's not worried whether we gave White a big contract or not. He's playing the dudes that he feel are performing, and that was shown on Friday because Bryce Huff wasn't giving you much. And he didn't get the snaps. Vic was not playing with him. He's going to play those who are producing. And Bryce Huff was not one of those on Friday. Hopefully, he'll be one of those on Monday. If not, he'll find his ass sitting on the side again. Because Vic's
get traded for.
He don't play those. He don't play the salary politics. He don't play the draft politics. Mm-hmm. He's going to play who's getting the job done. And I love that about Vic. I do.
Right,
but we still need that to be better. We need that.
I agree with Tony. We better have our our run defense show up Monday night, because that's really going to be their biggest weapon.
Bijan Robinson,
Bijan.
Tyler Air. Remember, before they drafted Bijan,
and maybe Kyle Pitts.
Well, Kyle Pitts not going to do much. But Tyler Agier, who's the backup running back, had a 1,000-yard season before they drafted Bijan. So they have two capable running backs to run down our doggone throat if we don't step up to the plate. We need Reed Blankenship, who was excellent in coverage last week. He was excellent in coverage. He was the number 4 highest ranked defensive back in the NFL last week, right? But GJ didn't show up.
No.
Slay almost forgot how to tackle. He missed that tackle on that end around because he was scared to tackle. Avonte Maddox needs to be a healthy scratch for this game, all right? And I'm saying that because these guys were part of the issues of last year's team, which we should not be bringing up. If you're on defense for a reason, not to look pretty, to make plays, stop the opposing offense, and get the ball back for your offense. And that includes making tackles when it's necessary, and you have to make it when it's necessary.
They don't want none of that smoke. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Look, CJ to me, he did have a bad game. And we talked about it when he left last year. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy that he's back because he's a playmaker, right? Mm-hmm. But I think a big part of his success that year was the pass rush that we were getting. Mm-hmm. The pass rush helped make CJ who he was. The getting to the quarterback, the speeding up of the quarterback's clock, making him get rid of the ball when he a little earlier than he wanted to, was something that CJ could sink his teeth into, and he benefited from it, leading the league in interceptions, even with missing the games that he missed that year. So no pass rush this year. I mean, no pass rush on Friday. You see how useful CJ is when he doesn't have that pass rush. And we always talk about the pass rush and the secondary being married together. That's how, one doesn't work without the other. And we didn't have a awesome pass rush, and CJ was nowhere to be found. Yeah. And I don't mean, doesn't mean that he has to get an interception all the time.
He got hit. It's, I need to go out for a play. Listen, to N'Kobe Dean, if that football hits your hands one more time like it did Friday, and you do not intercept it and pick it off, I will call my brother from Indiana and have him march his ass over there to Philadelphia to kick you off the squad, because at least he can catch a doggone interception. Come on now, that was tailor-made for you. That whole play design was great coverage in the back end. Q, he's going to be a future star, barring any injuries. Knock on wood, he's going to be a future star. If the ball comes to you, defensive players, catch the ball. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
All right.
One thing I'd like to bring up, back to the Jalen hate that Pat so eloquently put out there for 55 minutes of the show. My nephew,
I love Jalen. All right,
was still number 1, above 3 spots above your boy Josh Allen in best passer rating against the blitz.
He was.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. Yeah.
He was. He had
number 1. Not 2, not 3, not 4. Number 1.
He definitely had a very good
even with his mistakes. Even with his mistakes, he was still number 1. Do you understand what that means? Imagine how far he's going to succeed, folks, without mistakes.
He can be better.
I just said that. I said, imagine how far above he's going to be above folks without his mistakes.
Well, he's going to prove.
No, but look at what you just said.
He's number 1 with mistakes.
Right. He's number 1 against the blitz. What was his weakest area in quarterbacking last year?
Not
against the blitz. Yeah. He was one of the worst quarterback ratings in the league against the blitz.
Talk about it, Dante.
His work ethic has made him number 1 in 1 week of this season. So, like I said, it's hard to get rid of old habits. So, yeah, maybe you saw him roll out to the right a little early last time. But overall, what I wanted to see, and I talked about in the pregame, was how he handled the blitz. And there is the proof in the pudding that he's doing better against that. So I'm not too concerned with Jalen. I think he's going to continue to get better as he settles down more and get more comfortable with the offense. Again, his third play caller in 3 years, third offense in 3 years. Give the boy some grease. Give him some grease. He got a lot of weapons.
No, he has to do it right then and there. He has to start from the rip and have every mistake cleaned up and be perfect.
So how you feel about Aaron Rodgers then?
Oh, he's washed. Me and Aaron Rodgers are the same age, and I haven't played down the football in well over 10 years. So when I say I never put Aaron Rodgers up there.
What about Joe Burrow?
So, listen, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle, okay?
These are still great quarterbacks. Don't get me wrong.
I love Jalen Hurts. I'm not
coming at these guys.
He's a
you like him. You don't love him.
I love you. Got that green on. I love you. All right, you got that green on. I love.
I can't tell.
Only reason I could be critical about our players because I see them being better than what they are, and they can be better. And I know he's going to be better this coming week because, like you said in the show, he's always working. His work ethic is going to propel him to not turn the ball over. But we must see it. We must see that in action because you know what? I'm tired of hearing, And I joked about putting Josh Allen in front of Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen is not in front of Jalen Hurts because Jalen has done way more for his team than Josh Allen has done for that franchise.
Oh, hold on. Breaking news.
Oh, happy birthday, Virgo.
We have to give a shout out to one of our loyal followers, Deion Jones. Is celebrating his birthday today. He's in Vegas. Don't lose all your damn money, Deion, out there. Don't lose your shirt. Don't lose your pants. Keep all your clothes on.
Bring us some money.
Go get that steak and lobster.
I'm accepting all virtual birthday shots before I go eat this steak dinner. Oh, what kind of steak you gonna get? That's a good question. Everybody wants to know. You get the dry aged Wagyu. Oh my goodness. All right. You got me hyped up now. All right. Let me know what steak you want.
Oh, John, let me don't listen. I'm trying to get off of that, but I'm sorry. You can read it. I'll respond back.
All right. John Batiste says, number one, that interception in the end zone was not on Jalen. AJ slipped. Number two, Jalen Hurts calling audibles and using the hard count was a thing of beauty. Losing Kelsey hurts from a sentimental standpoint, but Jalen Hurts' game is now starting to mature. Great points, John.
All right, number two.
Great points.
Number two was on point. I get that to you. Number two, that statement, Jalen Hurts calling audibles, using the hard count, that is perfect. When they went up there to do the tush push, and he did a hard count, and he got the defense offsides, that was a thing of beauty because they didn't do that last year, right?
Wow.
But that interception where you said AJ slipped, no, that was solely on Jalen Hurts. I want you to go back and look at the film. You can go back and have Baldy's film. You can go back on YouTube. If you have the NFL package, you can go back and do the all 22. AJ rolled out to his right. I get that. The minute he rolled out to the right and looked upfield, AJ put up his hand. He was wide open. And you see there in that frame, Jair Alexander is not in that frame. His back is literally to the quarterbacks. He doesn't see Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts ran a little bit, like 3 more steps over, then threw the ball. When Jalen Hurts looked upfield that first time, and release that ball, that's touchdown with nobody around. By him taking those 3 steps, he got the defensive back the ability to see that A.J. Brown was wide open, get to the spot, and high point the ball. So I'm not going to sit here and say A.J. slipped. Some interceptions are on the quarterback. Some of them are not. They still count. But you got to go back and look at the film. That's why I'm a little bit critical on Jalen, because I know he can be much better than what we saw on Friday, which is scary. Which is scary because 34 points ain't nothing to laugh about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's the point I'm saying.
He got nowhere to go but up. But you got people in these comments thinking he can't get better. That's the energy you're putting out there.
All right, let's end this quarter because we need to talk about the Atlanta Falcons.
That's the end of the quarter.
Quarter are we in?
All right, we're in the third quarter. So you're watching Eagles Talk, the number one Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner and jovial mood, except for Pat, that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat is doing the Warford Reserve. Michelle's doing the spiked lemonade, and I am doing the apple juice. So here we go. We're celebrating we're gonna be in the shell celebrating our Philadelphia Eagles win. Everybody raise your glass and down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, third quarter, man.
Something now.
Go ahead.
How nobody picked us to win? We ain't even bring that up.
We got one person did. One person did.
One.
Yeah.
One. But all the little pundits on all the NFL shows had Green Bay winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No one likes us. We don't care.
Yes,
Pat don't like us now either, so we don't care about that.
I got a big old ego on my chest.
We gonna.
You just
and that's cool. We like that. That's what we want. We thrive off of that underdog mentality. So, don't like us. Please don't like us. We'll prove you wrong. I like that. I like when our team plays with that chip on their shoulder. And don't like us. You didn't like us the first week. You got a lot of criticism for that win. Watch what we do on Monday night, which is coming up, and we play the Atlanta Falcons.
Before we go to the Falcons, got to do something really, really quickly. Really quickly. Shout out to the New York Giants. Really appreciate you guys for letting us have Saquon Barkley. All right. In a response from one of the New York writers, he said that before the game, tonight is the night the Eagles fans realize that Saquon is the most overrated running back in NFL history. He refuses to get tough yards and won't make a significant difference in the season as a whole. He cannot be as wrong in the world in that statement at all, because he got tough yards. He got his third touchdown was, him getting that tough yards behind the offensive line. Saquon is it.
That was a butthurt baby man. That was a butthurt baby man.
It was very butthurt. Just like they were butthurt about A.J. Brown for years after we fleeced him and got A.J. Brown. So all the other teams just be mad with us and how
he wrote after this. This is what the same guy, his name is Dan from New York Giants 366. He said, Saquon Barkley could have 8 touchdowns against the Packers, and he still would stink. He did nothing for the Giants franchise for 6 years. He is a bust and a traitor.
He mad.
He bad.
Wow.
Wow. He's big.
Thank you, New York Giants fans. I appreciate you for our overrated running back that we have. He stinks. He's going to stink for us for the next 3 years, and it's going to stink when we go to the Super Bowl with him. Appreciate it.
He's just going to feed the beast all year? What does he think that's going to do?
That's not
how we
anything.
Take all that and turn that into more W's and wait till we play the Giants.
Yes. Oh my God. I have a close friend of mine who is a Giants fan from New York, Brooklyn, New York.
My cousin is.
And he said that, he said, don't get me wrong, I'm mad, I'm upset. But we did not give Saquon the support that he deserved in his time in New York. So he's happy for him. Not happy for us as Eagles, but he's happy for Saquon. But he's happy for Saquon because he's going to be utilized, as he should be. And I can appreciate that. And this guy, on the other hand, that's just like,
Yeah.
He's just hurt. He hurt. Somebody need to give him a hug for real. All right, so we going into Monday night. Our Philadelphia Eagles take on Kirk Cousins, B. John Robinson. Remember, that doesn't seem like a long time ago when we wanted B. John.
We did.
It seems like, remember, like a lot of people wanted B. John over Jalen Carter. I'm glad we got who we got. No, don't get me wrong. B. John is a beast.
I love our squad.
But I love our squad. I'm glad we needed Jalen Carter more than we needed Bijan. And the proof is in the pudding. We got Saquon now. You know what I'm saying? The running backs, I'm not discounting them, but they come a dime a dozen. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But we have a nice one. So we face Bijan, Kirk Cousins, what's the Kyle Pitts,
Drake
London, and the gang. Who lost? Didn't they lose last week? I believe they
lost by. Hold on.
By a touchdown.
No. Let me show you how much they lost by. Because you're gonna laugh at this. They lost by 5 field goals, not a touchdown. 5 field goals.
No,
they
6.
It's still
6.
It was 6.
Yeah, 18-10, 6 field goals.
Oh, 6. Whatever. Field goals. They lost because they couldn't score more field goals than the Steelers. Steelers scored a touchdown.
That was sad.
That is a sad show. And the thing about it, when you're talking about the Atlanta Falcons team, they have so much promise with so many of their athletes, but that interior offensive line, Kirk Cousins coming off of Achilles injuries, which is one of the most debilitating injuries you can have, and that's for a quarterback that wasn't that mobile. Now you're not mobile at all. You're not going to be moving at all. And you saw him. He was just a statue in the pocket. When that pocket was being collapsed, like the Pittsburgh Steelers are known to do, he was very ineffective. We need to take a page from the Steelers and make sure that he's very ineffective. And it's a Monday night football game, so you get Kirk Cousins on Monday night.
4 words: Kirk Cousins Monday night. Why are we even having this discussion? We should be talking about what we doing post game.
All right, we got
Monday night against us.
Let me just go to a comment. Kevin, watching us on YouTube, says, I think this is going to be a blowout. I surely hope so. 34 points. Atlanta just doesn't strike me as a team that is going to slow us down off of the pace. Once we got things going on Friday, it was, everything, the first 2 possessions after the turnovers just gave me a sigh of relief. I was just like, oh, okay, all right, whoo, this is what I need. And let me just, for placement here, because I think some people are stuck in the year 2022. When we dominated the league. This is not that year. So let that team rest in peace, because they lost the Super Bowl, but it was a great year. Great regular season, but we lost the Super Bowl. This is not 2022. This is 2024, and we're going to appreciate this team for what they are today. And I think that this team is going to continue to get better each week. And this will be a week that will prove to you guys, to me, in my estimation, that we are not as bad as we looked on Friday. For those who thought we looked bad, Pat, we're not as bad as that, and we're going to show that we are a top 5 team in the league, and that's just my opinion. Playing on a better field, playing at home, the field alone, I think, is going to help both sides of the ball, and you're going to see much improved team on Monday night. That's just my take. Pat, Michelle, what do you think? What's going to be a key for us on Monday night?
I think we'll get to work out some more kinks, because I don't see Atlanta as they're an NFL team. They're still going to be competitive, but I think this will definitely give us an opportunity to work out some more of our kinks, as well as to, iron sharpens iron, as well as to tighten up some of this playbook that Kellen Moore's putting in. So I'm excited for that piece of it. And I think on the opposite end of the ball, I think Vic Fangio is going to have a field day with Kirk Cousins.
Yes, I do.
I think both of our OC and our DC should have a good showing Monday night. I think it'll set the stage to be competitive but also I think we're going to really shine. I'm excited to see how much more of the offensive playbook we could see outside of, Jalen cleaning up his mistakes. But I would like to see them spread the ball around more, get the receivers a little bit more involved and see see what we can do with that side of the ball.
Definitely. I do understand that. I do get that. I think Vic needs to make sure that he hunkers down on his team about run fits. All right, this team is going to run the ball. They're going to try their best to run the ball in play action and get their tight end Kyle Pitts and Drake London involved in this game. But we have to be disciplined in our run fits. We have to be disciplined when it comes to the screen passes because they're going to run a lot of screens against this defense. You saw zero blitz that I haven't seen in a while. We saw zero blitz, a cover one blitz, cover zero blitz. We saw some exotic looks. We have to be very, very disciplined this game. So we're not getting gashed by Bijan Robinson, by Drake London, by Kyle Pitts, because we're underestimating Kirk Cousins' ability. Listen, I have no question that this offense should have a field day. They do have a very vaunted secondary with Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, D. Alford, AJ Terrell, who they just paid some big money to. But besides that, their rest of their defensive players we can pretty much handle. They did trade for Matthew Judon and Grady Jarrett is actually a very good interior defensive tackle. But besides those guys, I mean, this team is in a rebuilding phase. This team is in a rebuilding phase, and we should be able to take advantage of this football team Monday night.
Absolutely. And let's add that Nick Foles is getting honored Monday night.
Ooh, yes, he is.
You saw in Jalen's presser, they asked about Nick Foles in the Philly special. He's like, what y'all trying to see something?
He ran it. Yeah. He was in Oklahoma then. No, he was in Alabama. He actually ran that play.
I'm like, could you imagine watching him go?
I don't think we can run it anymore. It's too
it's too obvious.
Yeah,
unless you do a different. Matter of fact, no. Let me not say that because there are different wrinkles to it.
Listen,
it would have to be a different wrinkle.
It's more or less, the quarterback would get the ball and pitch it to the running back, and you got to set it up.
Yeah,
you can pitch it to the running back behind you in a pistol position because when you get the ball to the running back in the pistol, he's behind the quarterback, so he can still throw the ball forward, and then you can run it off stuff like that. But man, we don't need that against these guys. Against this team, smash mouth football. Smash mouth football.
Well, one thing we can't do is take them for granted because this is a team that just last week going into the year, I compared them to Detroit about 2 years ago as they were making their ascension to where they are now. They do have some weapons on offense and it didn't show last week, of course, but make no mistake about it, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is no joke. So, with the best defensive player in the league running after you down after down, and that's TJ Watts, and he proved to be every bit of the defensive player of the year in that first game of the season. I can understand why the offense didn't look as explosive as it could possibly look. Mm-hmm. And we just hope that we can make it look just as anemic this week as we face them. So we can't take them for granted. That's what I mean. We got to come out and we've got to play the game. And I do feel confident if we do that, we will take care of business. But it can't be low energy in the beginning. We can't come out and turn the ball over 2 times. No. We can't do that. We have to play a cleaner game. I think somebody put in the comments a little earlier. Yes, we have to play a clean game on Monday. And if we do that, that's one comparison you can make to 2022. We played a lot of games that were clean. We didn't have a lot of turnovers. Jalen wasn't turning the ball over like that in 22. Mm-hmm. If he can recapture that, taking care of the ball, which is a very, very important part of the quarterback's job, not just making those the timely throws and threading the needle and stuff like that. A big part of the quarterback's job is taking care of that ball. So if Jalen can add that to his arsenal on Monday, I don't think we'll have any problem.
Yeah. And to be honest, as somebody mentioned, how he's maturing and evolving, the great quarterbacks are going to have a few more picks as they open up that playbook. It's a statistic thing. In 2022, our playbook was kind of vanilla. It really was.
A lot of RPOs, yeah.
Right. So when we start to open it up, you might get a pick here and there, especially if you are trying to do some fantastic, ESPN level highlight plays. Real talk.
Yeah,
Real talk. You're going to get some picks, but to your point, Dante, he just has to make sure he makes better decisions. And he held himself accountable at the presser a couple hours ago. He said it. He said that was me. I made bad decisions. Period. It's not like he's not coachable. I won't say any names of our past quarterback that wasn't coachable.
Yeah, I feel that. I do. I did see the presser, and I did see that when they asked him about Foles. He never met him. He's going to get an opportunity to meet him.
He didn't get to meet Nikki Sixx?
He hasn't met Nikki.
Oh, wow. He's going to love that.
But the thing about it is that I really think that he is very coachable. Those mistakes that we talked about earlier and I was going crazy about, I think, they're going to be able to correct those mistakes and be better in the long run. Because we have to be better in the long run. For this team to have this talent and take us on this ride, we need him to fix his mistakes, to be coachable, to listen to Kalen Moore when it comes to what you should do in those tough situations. And we also need Kalen Moore to be better as an offensive coordinator. Because when Jalen threw his first interception, that should have either been a screen pass or a dump off pass. It shouldn't have been anything deeper than that, because you're within your first the 10 yards near your own goal line. You should just play field position and punt the ball, lift the fight another down. So Kellen Moore said that in his presser yesterday. So he has everybody needs to be better moving forward.
Well, I have more faith that Kellen Moore is here of Jalen cleaning up the mistakes than I did last season with what was going on.
Yeah.
I have faith in Kellen to help clean up the mistakes. I have faith in them to, take the tutelage of some of the OGs that have commented on both sides of the ball, whether that's Jaws or Kelsey or whoever.
Yeah,
I think they have a good support system around them, and as we said before, they're coachable, and I expect great things this Monday night. I think we're going to see a very interesting game. I think they're definitely going to get up for Monday night first home game after being on that crappy field. They just going to be happy to be able to be in their own cleats in their own grass where they know they could run
and their own fans. All I thought as I'm watching the game for the fifth time is the show that Barkley put on. Can you imagine how the Linc would have responded to Barkley in his first game as an Eagle, performing like he did?
Blew the lid off.
It would have blew the lid off of the Linc. And now we get that opportunity on Monday night for Barkley to have his home debut at the Linc. So it's going to be, I think everybody's going to be up for it. But we got to end this program as we're over time. So let's get out of here. We're going to see you guys on Monday night. You guys enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday football. Another Sunday, I don't have to do anything. That's great. 2 Sundays in a row. All right, but it's going to be a late night Monday. But we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday night, man. Make sure you tune in. And go download this podcast. This is a podcast. It'll be up tonight. Please go download. We need the downloads. Go to your favorite podcast platform. Yes. Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, tuned in, everywhere. It's everywhere. Go there and subscribe to the podcast and listen in your leisure. Send it to your friends. Allow them to listen. Everybody don't have time to watch the program. Everybody don't have time to sit down and watch us on YouTube and all that, but you have time to listen to us in the car. So make sure you download the Eagles Talk audio podcast. I'm your man, Dark Knight, from my co-host, Nichelle and Pat. We out of here. We'll see you Monday.